G'day Giants fans, just a little trade update here. I thought it would be easier just to come on here and make a quick little video rather than posting 4 or 5 different individual posts on the Instagram. As of right now, it is Wednesday the 9th of October. It's 5 o'clock PM. It doesn't look like there's going to be any trades happening today. However, I'm just going to give you the latest on each of the 6 individuals that are either linked to joining the Giants or leaving the Giants. We're going to start off first with the current listed Giants, so the 4 Giants that have been talked about leaving potentially through the trade period. We're going to start off with James Peatling. So trade talks have begun today between the Crows and the Giants about a potential trade for James Peatling. The James Peatling trade is going to get done. It's just a matter of what picks are traded for. As of right now, the Crows hold picks 4, 46 and 64. So obviously the Crows have said that pick 4 is untouchable. They're going to go to the draft with pick 4, and the Giants are not going to accept pick 46 or 64 for James Peatling. So the talk at the moment is a future second or a future third round pick. Obviously, of those 2 future round picks, the Giants are targeting the future second round pick, and Adelaide is saying at this point that if it is the future second round pick that they part with, they'll be looking for something else in return, maybe a pick later on in the draft, just to sort of balance it out for them. They want to feel like they're getting a win. The Crows have come to the table with a 4-year deal for James Peatling at around $600,000 a year. Obviously, the Giants don't have that sort of money to be throwing at James Peatling, which is probably part of the reason he ended up leaving the Giants. He was on record earlier, a couple of months ago, saying that he wanted to stick it out at the Giants, but when you're throwing money around like that, it's hard to refuse. This will probably be one of the trades that's done the quickest. It's probably the first trade that will be done by the Giants. It's pretty seamless. It's pretty independent, meaning that it's not involving picks from any other teams. That's all on the James Peatling situation for the moment. Keep an eye out though, because that looks like it'll be happening in the next couple of days. Next up, we have Xavier Henderson. A really quick one here. The Bulldogs have said to have had interest in acquiring Xavier Henderson, but as he is a contracted player, he will be going nowhere. Both Adrian Caruso and Jason McCartney have stated that and are on record as saying that. Adrian Caruso said, "He's a contracted player, he's an important member of the club, and there is no reason for us to let him go." Also made mention that Xavier is a flexible player and can have a late season flourish like that of James Peatling in 2024. So again, as of right now, unless Xavier officially requests a trade, this is probably the last time we will hear his name come up in this trade period. Up next, much like Xavier O'Halloran, we have another contracted player who both Jason McCartney and Adrian Caruso have been very strong on saying that he will be at the Giants next year. A lot of Giants fans probably have never even heard the name Wade Dirksen. He's a developing tall who plays both ends, and the Giants are very confident in what he can bring to the table next year. However, he does have very strong interest from Melbourne, who have offered him a spot on their list next year and have given him that guarantee of playing AFL footy, which he has yet to do at the Giants. There is a lot of commentary around this situation. A lot of people saying the Giants should do the right thing and let Dirksen head back home to Melbourne, where he can play AFL footy, have a bit more security. Melbourne have offered him a 2-year contract. He's only got the 1 year left on his contract at the Giants. A lot of people saying the Giants should let him go to Melbourne. It'll probably be a late pick if it does happen. The Giants are insistent on holding him to the last year on his contract. However, there's still a bit to play out on this one. But like I said, both Giants list managers, Adrian Caruso and Jason McCartney, have been very strong on saying that he will wear orange next year. Like Wade Dirksen, another player here, Conor Stone, who has struggled to find regular footy at the Giants. An early pick, a part of the Jeremy Cameron trade. Conor Stone came to the Giants around pick 15, I think. Hasn't really hit the ground running yet, but there is interest from Essendon. Essendon's recruiters have tracked him right from the start of the year and have identified him as a player they're interested in pursuing. I've been covering the AFL trade period for years now, and any player that leaves signing a contract to this late, usually 99% of the time ends up leaving. So I expect come the deadline, Conor Stone will be wearing an Essendon jersey. However, despite that, Adrian Caruso has been very strong on the fact that the Giants are really trying to keep Conor Stone on the list. They've had a 2-year deal on the table for him for quite some time now. It was said he was waiting to see what some of the other players did. That's been and gone now. Players have requested trades, players have left, and he still is yet to sign that contract. It's still on the table as far as I'm aware. Conor Stone just, like I said, if it gets this late in the season, I expect him to be gone. What that looks like in return for the Giants is probably a second, third round pick, maybe a future pick from Essendon. As of right now, Essendon only holds pick 9 and pick 31 in this year's draft. Their list boss, Matt Rosa, is on record as saying, "Our main focus is to improve our draft hand." Obviously, they have an academy prospect in Isaac Kako, who is looking like he'll be a first round pick. So the Bombers are going to want to back end later picks to be able to match that. So they're obviously going to make some trades to, bring in some more draft picks. Maybe one of those late picks is what gets it done for Conor Stone. Otherwise, it'll be like James Peatling. It'll be probably a future second or a future third round pick. This one here is a bit of an interesting one, just given how much the Giants want to keep Conor Stone on their list and just why Conor Stone still is yet to sign. He's obviously looking at what sort of value he's got, what sort of offers come his way. He's obviously just weighing up all options right now. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out for Conor Stone. Now, speaking of interesting, this is probably the reason you've clicked on this, is to hear the latest on the Jake Stringer situation. Here is the latest. Jake Stringer wants to get to the Giants, there's no doubt about that. He's keen to give playing at the Giants a crack. The Giants are still trying to work through their own pursuit of Jake Stringer and what that looks like, but Stringer is definitely up for the move to the Giants. That's the latest confirmed today. Yesterday, it was confirmed that Giants coach Adam Kingsley had met with Stringer, that had a meeting, and obviously it went well if the talks have continued through to today. He's obviously not that bad a bloke. I fully trust Adam Kingsley's ability to judge someone's character, and like I said, if talks have continued, then he's obviously impressed in some way. There's still a ways to go on this one. The Giants hold 3 first round picks. It's not going to be any of those. And then it moves to pick 37. I doubt it'll be that. And then picks 53, 56, and 74. It's not going to be pick 74. It's more likely going to be either pick 53 or pick 56 that gets Jake Stringer across to the Giants. The Bombers might try and play hardball on that pick though, considering Stringer is a contracted player still, so it's a wait and see on that. However, if it is a pick in the 50s, typically speaking, those late picks in the 50s are kids that are going to take maybe 3 years to develop and work their way into a winning side. Is Jake Stringer a walk-up start in the Giants team next year? I'm not sure if he is, but he is a win-now player. The Giants are in win-now mode, and if you can get a player like that for a pick in the 50s, then what's the worst thing that can happen? It's worth a try, I think, and there's a lot of controversy around it. A lot of people are having their opinions on his character. Like I said, he's met with the coach Adam Kingsley, who seems to be a good judge of character, and if talks are still progressing, then it looks like this is going to be a trade that gets done. And last but not least, we have former Giant Dylan Shiel, who is interested in making a return to the Giants. Both Essendon and the Giants have confirmed there is mutual interest there. It's just a matter of working out the logistics of the trade and what it's going to look like. Much like Jake Stringer, he is probably going to be a pick in the late 50s, although he is still a contracted player. There's a bit to play out just yet with the Dylan Shiel trade. There is also the question of where does Dylan Shiel fit in? Is he a round 1 start? It's probably unlikely he will start round 1, but he does add great depth. like with the Jake Stringer trade, if you can get a player like this in for a pick in the 50s, that again is probably going to take 3 or 4 years to develop. The Giants are in win now mode, and Dylan Shiel is a ready-made player who can come in next year and have an impact straight away. It's what the Giants need right now, and I expect this is another one that will get done. Dylan Shiel was quoted as saying when he left that he loved his time at the Giants, and I just think it's a great fit back in culture-wise. The Giants have lost a lot of players. It would be nice to just get one back for a change, and Dylan Shiel has expressed interest in returning back to the club he started at. And that's you up to date on all the Giants trade talk at the moment. If anything else changes or if anything big breaks, I'll have it over on the Giants Talk Instagram account. But for now, have a good night and go Giants.